Hiya Mark, good session yesterday. Hope you found it helpful. Just going to run through a couple of points that we discussed in this session. First and foremost, let's get the main one out of the way. Do not under any circumstances keep your head down or keep your eyes looking down at the golf ball. As we saw when you did that swing with your eyes shut, you made reasonable contact and the ball went down the range a good 100+ yards. So keep looking at the ball and focusing down too much isn't really going to be much of a benefit. It'll actually tend to restrict your body movement when you're trying to swing. So although we are going to be looking at the golf ball, you don't want to be fixating your eyes down forever and a day and trying to stay down looking at the ground after the ball's been struck. Let's allow things to come through more naturally and let that body rotate with the club. If we look in now at setup, you can see on the left hand side, we'll kind of call this your before swing. Setup wise there, certainly with the hands, as you can see, pushing forward. There's a forward press there, which I say is okay, but if your hands start off leaning forward to start with, we've probably got roughly, let's get a straight line, we've got there probably roughly about, if we go from a straight line up there through your club and the head, a good sort of almost 20 degrees sort of forward shaft lean. Then as the forward press comes in, we increase that still further, so now you're taking even more loft off the golf club, which is why we said your short irons tend to hit them quite a long way, but as a result of that de-lofting, when you go through the bag to sort of longer clubs, 5-iron, 6-iron, maybe your threshold, hybrids and woods, and you've taken the loft off, you're going to struggle to get the ball up in the air with any kind of control or backspin. Now what you will see on here, because your hands have gone that far forward, as you come back into the golf ball, make an okay backswing to the top here now, as you can see. As you start coming back, you've got to try to hang back on it. You can see the flip of your hands here now. At the point of contact, your hands now sort of trying to come back behind the ball, which in turn now is going to close the club face. So you see hanging back here now, trying to sort of square that club face up. And you can see we finished this swing. Your right foot not really come off the toe there. Right hips kind of come round. That's definitely come round, but that knee sort of hanging back a little bit. Not really got onto your left side quite so well. So as you said, not somebody who takes a lot of divots. You can see from that position there now, if the weight does hang back on this right side here, Mark, you're going to struggle to strike the golf ball with any kind of descending blow or any strike. And if you do come down it with the hands that far forward, you're going to drive the golf ball very, very low rather than get the ball up in the air. So if we can just get the club a little bit more neutral kind of in your setup, in terms of your practice swings, try to make sure your practice swings are swings that you're going to want to make when the ball is in the way. So if I was watching you here now, say if I was on the tee, so on the green, and you're on the tee, if we saw this movement here now, we wouldn't know whether it's a real swing or a practice swing until the ball either did or didn't come into the air. But at least by the movement there, with the head facing target and twisting through with everything else, full rotation, it's a replica of what you're going to try and do when the ball gets there. Then when the ball does get there, as we said, a more neutral shaft to start with. Like I say, the forward press for me is not really a bad thing. I don't mind that. For you, it's kind of a trigger to get the club started. But if you start off here now, there's a little forward press, you can see just a little sort of push there, which is absolutely fine. The club now is only just going to be slightly tilted forward. So when you come back down to the golf ball, there's no need to sort of hang back and flip on it. We can come back in the golf ball. We can shift back to the weight there. Good strike of the golf ball here now. You watch as you turn through, utilising the height of the golf course, loft of the golf club, much more launch angle there. And we finish this swing now, you can see that right foot up on its toe, everything now is kind of rotated and twisted more towards target. It's a much fuller swing. There's no kind of head down feeling or restrictive feeling, no kind of keeping your arms straight or worrying about all these things that people in the past have told you. You just stood there, set yourself up better and just allowed your body to do what we kind of know it wants to do. So don't keep the head down, don't try and restrict as we said, just get the club in a much more neutral position to start with. The forward press for you is a good little trigger to get that club started, but once the shaft now starts slightly tilted forward, 4, 5, 6 degrees kind of thing, when you push your hands forward, we've still got plenty of loft to play with, and then from there we can make a nice sort of functional swing, getting onto that left side a lot better, and sort of the last half dozen, 8, 9, 10 shots on the range was certainly a much more flighted strike with a soft draw, whereas the first couple we looked a little bit kind of hooky and flippy, where you're sort of trying to hang back on to try and recover, I suppose, from that real big forward press you had addressed. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously, feel free to give me a shout, and I'll catch you again soon. Cheers, Mark.